Alright, so I want to make a recording talking about, like, kind of getting paid and passing the eval and all that shit. So, realistically, you're either, like, stuck in two stages, right? And I'm probably going to lay this over, maybe like the FOMC tape reading, the Dom and all that. But anyways, so you're either, like, stuck in the eval phase where you can't pass an eval, which is probably really bad, or you're passing the eval and then you just blow the XFA or the pass count, whatever. And one of the reasons, if you're in the second one, where you can pass the eval and you're blowing the XFA, is especially if you've gotten a payout before, once you get a taste of that money, like, you want it really quick, and you want to get that buffer built. You want to be to where you can be to request payouts. And the thing you have to understand is that, like, if you're rushing it, like, if you need that money, whatever, if you're not working, like, the only source of money you have coming in is trading, it's not going to be good, because your mental is all fucked up. Even if you are working, you have money coming in, if your mental is not in the right space where you're doing it for the skill, and, you know, you're not over leveraging, because the reason that you're blowing the count is probably because you're over leveraging and over trading because you want the money, right? You're forcing trades, whatever. A lot of the things I tell, people I work with is, someone told me this, actually, Oscar, shout out Oscar, is 3 bullets. So you have 3 trades, and realistically, you should be fine with ending the day on 1 win, or even, a win and a loss, or even 2 wins, But a lot of the people that I see, even on the eval phase, is they spam trades. And I've always said this, like, if you take a loss, you should not be re-entering within the same 10 minutes or even the same hour, because, you're going to force, even if you were long, that you might get stopped out, you might force a short, and then it goes long, and then you're even more pissed, and then you're just tilting your ass off, right? So obviously, like, if you want to get paid and pass evals, you could just put it as simply as don't tilt, right? But obviously that's a lot easier said than done, because you're going to tilt. When it comes to the first part, is you can't pass the eval, is probably just fear. So you're probably you don't have faith in your strategy, or your strategy is not that good, or you're just a new trader. A lot of the ways, it's a lot different for me with evals, because I trade them super aggressively. Even a new PA account, I'll trade aggressive. But with the eval, like, let's say 50K, for example, I would just get in there. I would scale in. So I would, start with 1 mini. If everything looks good, if it's going your way, you have to scale quick. You don't want to scale after NQ already moved like 20 points. I know most people are trading NQ, so I'll use NQ for the example. But to pass an eval, it's really easy. Like, I mean, I've been trading for years now, so it's kind of subjective. But to pass an eval, you should be able to get in there, take 1 micro. If it looks really good, you're getting all the confirmation you need. Let's say NQ is 5-10 points up. You should be able to add 2 or 1, so you're in either a total of 2 or 3 minis. And then shortly after you add, you should be able to put a stop, break even, or risk, 5 points. The thing with 3 minis, risking 10 points, is you're risking 600. So you have a lot of risk on there, and, that 1 loss is going to hurt. But realistically, 2 minis should be fine. You can keep the stop open, 5-10 points, whatever. If you get stopped, you're going to lose 400. It's, that's where the risk to reward comes into play. Like, if you're taking 1 to 3s, hopefully you don't lose 3 in a row. Even if you do, you still have life left in the eval with taking 2 minis. I mean, realistically, you just have to have, a strong strategy, a strong edge. Especially, it doesn't really matter what you trade, but the shit with order flow, anything, any good strategy is going to give you a precise entry, and if you miss it, whatever. A lot of times you just have to sit on hands, if you hesitate, if you're scared, that fear comes in. When we talk about trading, we talk about fear and greed, but with the eval, I mean, realistically, greed should not be an option. So that's when it comes back to, if you're, struggling on a PA account, the psychology is way different. Like, I've seen people blow through the evals, meaning like pass them like cake work, and then they get to the XFA and they lose like literally every trade, because your brain is just like, it's wired differently once you're on the XFA. Like, okay, like, let me get in here, let me make this money, you know, like I the eval was so easy, I barely even lost, so let me just, you know, take this, take that, and then they all lose. I don't know, I feel like with a PA, XFA, whatever you want to call it, with a past account, you should really keep it light, especially for the new guys. You know, if you're a new trader, there's nothing wrong with trading the micros on a new account, however many micros. I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't go lower than 5, but that's just me. ES is a great way to do it. So if you're trading ES and, you know, you can put the risk on to trade 2 minis. If you shoot for 2 minis, 10 points, that's $1,000. So I always tell my guys, like, if that $1,000 was in your pocket, like, you would be happy, right? And I don't want to relate trading to gambling, but if we do, like, relate it, let's say you had $1,000, you know, you're playing whatever. Like, if you put that money in, it's either win or lose when you're gambling, right? You're going to win all of it or you're going to lose all of it. But obviously, trading is not like that. But a lot of the times when people keep trading when they're already up, they end up giving everything back. And then some people can't even stop there, and then they start going into their drawdown. Like, I'm talking about, you were up, you know, 500. Yeah, like, you know, let me take this one. Let me oversize into this trade. You know, it's lunch at whatever, PM. And if you lose that, a lot of people don't have the discipline to stop. So especially like with these Top Step X, with all these fucking shit Project X accounts, you know, it really gets to a point where if you're blowing PA after PA and you're not, you know, you don't have a hard, whatever, daily loss limit, trade limit, all that fucking bullshit. If you can't follow that, then, like, you might want to sit down and be like, is this shit really for me? You know, like, how many accounts are you going to blow through without even building a buffer, without even getting to request a payout? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, trading is fucking hard. Like, it's going to be hard. But with all the fucking risk limits, all that bullshit, you know, it's a matter of just not over trading, not over leveraging. Take your setups. If the setup fails, just walk away. Call it a fucking day. Close the charts. And, you know, the thing with the screen time, I agree and disagree with. I think screen time is great, especially for a new trader, especially for an order flow trader. Sit and read the DOM all fucking day. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want. But as long as you can be disciplined and not push the button and take... I mean, if you're on demo, you know, that's fine. Sit there all fucking day, push the button, you know, you're on demo. Just make sure that those habits don't reflect an eval or a PA, right? Because then you're gonna have bad habits that you have to break. I mean, I don't want to yap too long, but realistically, if you can pass an eval, the only thing stopping you from getting paid on that account is your psych and your habits. Like, there's no reason... The leverage on these futures is already so high. Like NQ, I was in NQ today and I took a sell position. I literally blinked, I was down $300. It ended up like coming back. I didn't have a hard stop placed. I mean, I was playing with profit, like I said not to. But yeah, it ended up coming back. But one mini on NQ, it moves so fast, right? So you obviously need to have a hard stop. Your RR has to be there. Everything has to be planned before you enter. And then, I mean, once you're in a more advanced trader, I'm sure a lot of you guys might be listening and being like, this guy never uses a stop. I always have a mental stop. For me, like, if I'm in over 10 points of heat, especially because I'm usually trading multiple minis. So, like, over 10 points, I'm closing it. Especially if I see strength in that candle, whatever, I'm closing. Even if you don't see a hard stop or whatever, like, I'm not gonna sit around for 20 points of heat on NQ with 3 minis. That's just I mean, if you don't have a buffer built, there's half your count. So I mean, most of the time with me, when I'm trading 3 minis, I already have a buffer, so it's a little different. But still, like, you don't want to. I mean, if you're trading 5 micros, absolutely you can have a stop at 20 points. So you just have to understand with like these futures accounts, these funded accounts, like you don't have a 50K account, you have a 2K account that can trade 5 or 6 minis, you know, depending on the firm. So you have to treat it like a 2K account, like it is. I mean, there's a lot of things I could get into. I mean, you can, I'm not sure if TopStep has released their statistics or any other firm, but if you go on Take Profit's website and you look at the bottom, last time I checked, it was like 17.6 or like 16% of all traders that bought the evaluation passed in like a whole year. So you have to understand, like, you know, one winning trade does not mean that you're a good trader. One winning week does not mean that you're a good trader. It's really about like managing your losses, keeping your winners bigger. Obviously, it's like the most simple shit ever. But you have to understand that you have to be like more disciplined and more locked than everyone else. Like, it's really a mental game. After you have an edge, like whatever you're, like, even if you're trading standard div, right? Because sure, like that's an edge. This is kind of like fucking way off the top. I mean, I wouldn't really call it an edge. I think it's bullshit. But whatever the fuck you're trading, right? If you see results, then at that point, all you have to do is plug it in and follow a system. And it's like, it's much easier said than done. But at the same time, like, what's stopping you from getting payouts? Like, a lot of people are not out here getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the reality of it, is that people are not getting paid. So you have to really think, like, you know, is this shit even for you, or are you just wasting your time and money? Especially if you're blowing, you know, you're getting through the evals, but you're blowing past account after past account. Like, either some shit has to change, or just pack it up, in my opinion, you know? Like, you're just wasting time and money. Like, there's really no shame in quitting when, you know, the statistic is 99% of traders, whatever it is. Like, most people don't make it. So, and then the last thing I want to say is that the psychology on props is way different than a live account. And I can say this because when I started trading, I was trading a live account, not futures. I was trading options. And those big losses on a live account, they hurt way different, you know. And especially when you're trading with live cap, options is a little different because it doesn't settle unless you have 25,000 in the account. You can't reuse the same capital in the same day. You can on Webull, but they'll like flag you. But anyways, when you take a big loss on a live account, you're definitely going to sit back and probably call it a day, you know, figure out what you did wrong, where you do not have a stop, your stop was too big, your size too big, whatever. When people take these big losses on a PA, XFA, eval, they don't give a fuck because they look at it like, oh, I lost $50. Or, you know, you're on a top step 50K XFA. Oh, it's whatever, it's $200. Okay, and then if you blow 5 fucking XFAs, you just lost $1,000, and you still probably don't give a fuck because you're so focused on getting that payout. Oh, I'm gonna make it all back. And it's like, sure, you can, but like, how bad are you gonna fuck up your psychology and your habits on the way to, you know, getting that first payout or whatever it is? But like I said, I really don't want to yap forever. It's more about just having rules, following them, you know, like taking a minimum 1 to 3 is good. Less than 1 to 3. I mean, for me, like, I don't even look at it like that. I just know that my stop is always going to be much smaller than my take profit. So, but anyways, hopefully this can help some of you guys. I know there's a lot of people out there that are new and struggling. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me on Discord or whatever.